Hello, my darling friends. Jenny Lee here, and happy Easter. I hope that this message is finding you well. This is a very challenging time that we're all experiencing, not only in the country, but in the world right now. So, it's the year 2020s. So, if anybody is watching this, it's some other year. And it's very difficult for us to experience the isolation coupled with financial challenges, and all of the craziness really that comes along with forced quarantine. And so this is a rough time. And I've been, I think, probably better than a lot of people because I'm used to working at home, and I enjoy getting a lot of work done and doing my studies and, building content, that sort of thing. I love it. But anyway, even for me, it's a little challenging because, just going to the store and seeing everybody around you wearing a mask, and there's things like that are just emotionally challenging, And so here we are on Easter, which I've always looked at Easter as the most grateful day of the year because Christ came so that he could be killed for us. And that is horrible, but he did that with a purpose. And he did that so that he could come and erase all this misunderstanding and, Pharisee behavior and everything in the Old Testament. This is my belief. And so in the New Testament, he came to show us how to live and how to love one another. And this is something that we need to renew ourselves on a regular basis, but certainly every year on Easter is the perfect time to realize that we have been given the gift. And, if there's any of you that don't believe, then I want to encourage you to read a book that I read a long time ago. I actually read it as a believer, but the book was just so interesting, and I loved the content, which is called The Case for Christ by Lee Strobel. I think this was like in 1998 that he wrote this book. But anyway, it's amazing because he was an atheist. He was actually a graduate of Yale Law School. He was the legal editor of the Chicago Tribune, and his wife was a believer, and so he was an atheist. He just didn't believe in any of this. So he sought out to take this on back when there were real journalists, but he sought out to take this on to prove that Christianity was not true. And so as a result, what happened is he became a believer, and I believe he also went on to be on the teaching pastor staff at Willow Creek Church. So he became quite a dedicated believer. So if you have any doubt about Christ, the one who came and died for you today, then read that book. You can then enjoy probably listening to some messages from maybe different preachers or motivators, people who have great messages to give you. But if you want the nuts and bolts of, is this really real? Go read that book. Now, let me tell you something. I will leave a link to it on the video here. But let me tell you something. I pulled up the book so that I could leave the link for you. And you know what? I realized I did not know this, but in 2017, they actually did a movie of this book. I'm going to watch the movie tonight simply because I really loved the book. And he wrote another book that was a follow-up to that. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it, but if you look up Lee Strobel, you'll see it. But anyway, in 2017, he did a movie. So I encourage you to, while you're quarantined in, to maybe go download the movie and watch it. Today you can even download the book on Kindle and read it. So I encourage you to do that, because what we're celebrating today is life in the process of Jesus dying for us. And it's such a meaningful time of year for me. And I'll tell you, today it's been a little challenging because, after a while, this quarantine stuff gets a little difficult, even for somebody like me who likes to be inside and working and sort of self-quarantine. But none of us like things that are forced, do we? And so I think with religion, we get a lot of that, because unfortunately there's still a lot of people who mean well, but they come at people with religion in a way that doesn't feel loving and open to everyone. But let me just tell you, that is not why Christ died. He died for you and for me and for all of us, and for love. That's it. Pure love. So I hope the rest of your day is fabulous. And I encourage you to read the book, watch the movie, and consume lots of good, positive content today. Mwah!